Hey Algebra, you guys did such a great job on your test today. So we're going to move on into our next section, which is points in the coordinate plane. So the internet and things like GPS devices, they give us a lot of mapping applications. But you know what? On one occasion, maybe one day, you never know, you will need to find a certain location on an actual printed map. Let's take this map for example. This is a map of an island and where to find certain junk food on that island. OMG, yummy. All right, well, I love me some Doritos. So let's see if you can tell me where we can find some Doritos, some yummy nacho cheese Doritos. Well, I see it's right here in this box. So I'm going to go ahead and look at what row that's in, and that's actually the 5th row. And what column is that in? Oh, I see I'm in the B column. All right, so let's look at this map here. It's a map of an island and where I can find a whole bunch of yummy different types of junk food on this island. Well, I love me some Doritos. So I need you to tell me, where can I find some Doritos? Where on this island can I find Doritos? So we're going to go over here. That's where the Doritos are. Well, I want to know how far I'm going over. So I'm going over to the B column, and I can see that also I am in the 5th row. So B5 is where I'm going to find those Doritos. How about a nice can of classic Coke? Because, you know, I need something to wash down those Doritos. So tell me, what column am I going over to? That looks like it's the C column. And what row am I in? I am in the 3rd row this time. And you know I'm going to need some dessert. So go ahead and write down for me where we can find some ice cream. And if you said D1, you're correct. So what we just did was we used 2 symbols to represent the location of each one of these different items of junk food on this island. Now, the letter we used shows the horizontal position, meaning left or right. Oops. Okay, my bad. I thought I messed something up, but forget it. Anyway, let me go back. The letter we used shows the horizontal position, and the number represents the vertical position, meaning up and down. So the letter was left and right, and the number was up and down, our vertical position. So remember that we already know that every point on a number line can be associated with a real number. So the point that I just drew, it's associated with the real number 1. Well, thanks to this French mathematician who goes by the name René Descartes, we have what's called the Cartesian coordinate system. Hold on, let me write that down. Cartesian. That's supposed to be a C right there. I know what's going on. Can't write today. Cartesian coordinate system. I'm writing very slow today. All right. And what this is it's a method of associating every point in a plane with an ordered pair of numbers. Just like how your lines of latitude and longitude do the same thing on a map. So let's go ahead and fill in some vocabulary. What's an ordered pair? An ordered pair is a pair of numbers, X and Y, and we write those in parentheses with a comma in between them. And it's a pair of numbers that's used to describe a point in the plane, in the Cartesian plane, the coordinate plane. So go ahead and pause this, that way you can just jot that down real quick. All right, so on your notes page, you have actually the coordinate plane, and it's this big grid right there. And this grid is divided, as you can see, but it's divided so that we get ordered pairs, and in those ordered pairs, we have what are known as coordinates. We have the x and the y. Well, how do we get those? We get those because we have a horizontal line that's dividing this plane. And this horizontal line, it's like a regular horizontal number line. And we call that the x-axis. And then we also have this vertical number line that's also dividing that coordinate plane. And we call that the y-axis. I cannot fit this in the box, my bad. And you'll notice that these two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis, they both intersect somewhere right about there, and we call that the origin. And we label the origin like so. Mine is like way too big, but in the graph, that's how we label it. And the origin is actually at this ordered pair 0, 0, which means that our x coordinate is 0 and so is our y coordinate for the origin. And this is just saying that this is where the axes both intersect, where they meet. You'll also notice that not only do these two axes intersect, but when they do, they actually split up the plane into 4 sections, and these 4 sections are called quadrants. And the first quadrant is right here, and it's Q1, and every point in quadrant 1 is the ordered pair is positive for the x coordinate, positive for the y coordinate. And then we go counterclockwise. So the next quadrant is right here, and this is quadrant 2. And the x coordinates here are going to be negative numbers, and your y coordinates are going to be positive. Continuing down here, we have quadrant 3. And the points, the coordinates in the ordered pairs for every point in quadrant 3, they're going to be negative. Both coordinates, your x coordinate's going to be negative, your y coordinate's going to be negative. And then right down here in quadrant 4, the x coordinates are going to be positive and your y coordinates are going to be negative. So when we're looking at the ordered pairs, your x's and y's, you could have, in quadrant 4, you could have a positive 2 and then a negative 3, which we'll talk about how to plot points in just a moment. So real quick, make sure that you've jotted down your vocab. Your x-axis, as I mentioned, is the horizontal number line in the plane. Your y-axis is going to be the vertical number line in the plane. The origin is going to be the point where both axes intersect, and its ordered pair is 0, 0. And then in your ordered pair, where it's written like this, the first number in your ordered pair is called the x coordinate, and I'm just going to abbreviate right there. And then the second item in your ordered pair is called the y coordinate, and I'll abbreviate that too. Okay, something super important that you gotta know is that the order of your coordinates in the ordered pair is very important. So you have to keep them x, y. Do not reverse them. You can't write your ordered pair as a y number and then an x number. That is not going to work. You'll have a totally different point. Now, the process of locating points in a plane is called plotting points or graphing ordered pairs. We have 3 steps for doing this. the first step is to move X number of units right or left from the origin. So you're always going to start right here at the origin. Remember, that's where both of the axes intersect. And then if it's a positive X coordinate that you have in your ordered pair, then that means from the origin, you're going to move to the right. If your X coordinate happens to be a negative number, then we're going to move to the left. From there, you're going to move Y number of units up or down. So if your Y coordinate then happens to be positive, you're going to move up that number of units. If your Y coordinate happens to be negative, then we'll be moving down that number of units. And then after we've moved all of the number of Y coordinates we needed to move, we'll graph and label. So we'll make a point on the coordinate plane and we'll label that point with the ordered pair that represents that point. So if I move from the origin 2 units to the right, 3 units up, I plot my point there and I label it 2, 3 because I went to the right 2 places and then I went up 3. Remember, don't reverse these. If I were to reverse these 3, 2, then really that means that I am going over, let me use a different color, let's use yellow. I'm going over from the origin 3 places and up 2. Plot your point there, and you can see that they're in 2 totally different places. So we cannot reverse the order, okay? Don't reverse the order of your ordered pairs. So let's try another one. Okay, so I want us to go ahead and locate this point on the coordinate plane, -3, 2. So the way we're going to do that is start at the origin. So because this is our X coordinate, it means we're going to go left or right. Being the fact that it is negative, we're going to go left from the origin. Left 3 places. And then from there, I'm going to look at what my Y coordinate tells me to do. It's positive, so that means I'm going to go up 2 places. Right here is where the ordered pair -3, 2 is. Okay, let's go ahead and try and plot this one, -3, -2. So looking at your first coordinate, which is your X coordinate, because it's negative, I'm going to go to the left 3. Now the Y coordinate, that one's negative this time. So instead of going up 2 like we did last time, we're going to go down 2. Make your point right there. Don't forget to label it. This is -3, -2. Okay, so let's finish this notes page up with stating the coordinates and naming the quadrant that has each one of the points. So we're going to look for the point that's labeled with A, and I can see that that's right over here. So starting at the origin, I want to determine how many units I have to go to the right. That's 4. So my X coordinate is going to be 4. And from there, how many do I have to go up to get to that A point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what quadrant is this in? This one is located in quadrant 1. All right, now let's look at B. Whoops, there we go. B is right there. So X coordinate. How many do we have to go left or right? Well, starting at the origin, I would need to go 2 units to the left. So because I'm going to the left, that's a -2. And then from there, we're going to go up 2 units. That's a +2. And that point is in quadrant 2. And let's move right along to C. C is right over here. So from the origin, from the middle, where these 2 axes intersect, how many units do I have to move to the left? So that's going to be a -4. And then from there, I have to go down 3 units. So because I went down, that's a -3. And this one is located in quadrant 3. And we are almost done. Let's go ahead and locate D. So, starting at the origin, I have to go 2 units to the right. So that's going to be a +2, just like a regular number line. To the right is positive. Numbers to the left of 0 are negative. From here, how many units do I have to move down? Because we move down, that's negative, and that's going to be a -3. And this is located in quadrant 4. Excuse me. So, erase that right there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and just jot those down for me. And we will definitely do some practice activities tomorrow when you come in. So have a good night. See you tomorrow.